And news overseas, the Republican-majority U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill that would force President Joe Biden to send arms to Israel and to aid its fight against Hamas. VOA congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson reports from Capitol Hill.
Israeli shelling in northern Gaza intensifying this week as the debate over U.S. aid to Israel ramps up on Capitol Hill. The U.S. House of Representatives passing a bill that would force the Biden administration to send military aid to Israel after a one-time suspension of shipments last week. The White House paused the bomb shipment over concerns that they would kill civilians if Israel used them in a full-scale invasion of Rafah, where many Palestinians fled to seek refuge. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson saying the Biden administration is going back on its support for Israel.
His actions are doing exactly the opposite. This is a catastrophic decision with global implications. It is obviously being done as a political calculation.
The White House authorized a $1 billion arms transfer this week, saying the delay does not change the United States alliance with Israel.
The president believes, obviously, the commitment, and we do as well, to Israel's security is ironclad, and we want to make sure that they have what they need, Israel has what they need to defend themselves against their enemies, including Hamas.
Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th last year, killing 1,200 people, many of them civilians. Israel's response, which has killed more than 35,000 people in Gaza, has some congressional Democrats increasingly concerned about U.S. support for Israel.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has ruined the world's support. He's done so by not focusing on the hostages, but by allowing his military to bomb hospitals, ambulance convoys, people's homes, to take out journalists, aid workers, including Americans. The moral compass does not bend in favor of one nation, regardless of what it does.
One historian told VOA the United States has always had to balance support for Israel's democracy with accountability for its actions.
It's not as though the U.S. has never put any strings on the kinds of support we have given to Israel through the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and up till now. So presidents like Eisenhower and Ford and Reagan, Republicans particularly, have had to go back to Israel to say, we're not pleased with what we see you're doing in the Middle East.
With Israel renewing the fight in northern Gaza, the House bill has little chance of passage in the Democratic majority U.S. Senate, where some senators are calling for restraint.
The United States should not take part in an assault on Rafah that is going to result in thousands of innocent civilians being killed and worsen the humanitarian nightmare that exists inside Gaza. That is a moral and strategic disaster for both the United States and Israel.
The U.S. announced Thursday it has completed a pier that will allow the delivery of crucial humanitarian aid to Palestinian civilians. Catherine Gibson, VOA News.